Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to a brand new episode of the podcast. I'm stoked you're here with me today. Very, very grateful that you would carve out this time to hang out and allow us to have a conversation about having it all, about living an abundant, loving life. And so we explore that question and that concept on this podcast across all the episodes and all the evolutions of the show, because this podcast has evolved. Yeah, it's evolved a lot in the almost 4 years since we first launched. So thank you for coming here today and hanging out with me. Today's episode is going to be a cool one. It's actually a two-parter, so to speak, sort of ish. And in this first part, on this podcast as a whole, I'm very inspired to share with you all the tools and the resources that I use in my life to help heal and improve myself and grow and confront my fears and build confidence and all of that stuff. And one of the biggest sources of tools, inspiration, really one of the biggest catalysts for my own change has been the YourDay balance game. And so in today's episode and in the one I'm going to publish tomorrow, I'm going to be exploring the YourDay balance game and just breaking it down and sharing with you the ins and outs of what the YourDay balance game is. And so this is a cool two-parter. Again, today is kind of like the who, what, when, where, why sort of approach. And then tomorrow, I'll be publishing a conversation that I had last year with my coach, who happens to be the founder of the YourDay balance game. His name is Day Adioba. And we have a really powerful conversation that loops in a lot of the stuff I'll be talking about today. So this is a really cool two-parter that, again, I just want to share with you all the stuff that I use in my life to be the man that I am today, to step into my greatness, to heal, to improve, all that stuff. And YourDay balance game is definitely one of those tools. So that's what we're going to be tackling today. I'm excited about it. Let's kick things off with talking about magic, which, as a little tangent, magic is actually a concept from the YourDay balance game, which you'll learn in a little bit. But magic itself is defined as when you influence self, others, or life in an empowering way. And you're creating magic all the time. You really are. And so when you can recognize those moments, you can connect with that powerful creator inside of you. And you can begin to realize that your ability to have it all is all within your fingertips. Yeah, you can create it. And you are creating it all the time. So I'm going to share my piece of magic, and then I invite you to pause the episode and think about a piece for yourself. My magic actually went down last night, and I got to say, it didn't necessarily feel very magical in the moment, but even throughout the experience, I was able to have gratitude for what was happening, and now in hindsight, I totally see the magic in it. And yesterday, I attended the monthly meeting of some of the other leaders within the YourDay balance game community. You know, I've been playing this game for over 7 years, and over that time, I've become one of the leaders in the community, and we meet every month to kind of talk about state of affairs and what we want to be working on, things like that. And in yesterday's meeting, I guess the way it went down is I shared a breakdown that had happened between Sarah and I, and through talking about that breakdown, some more stuff about how I was showing up was really revealed and put out there on the table, and it turned into, me being in that spotlight. And it turned into me receiving some very straight up feedback, like really pointed, direct feedback from the other folks. And, there's 10 of us in the leadership circle. So the magic for me is really having 9 people, 9 souls who will just kick it to me real, who will give it to me straight, who aren't concerned with hurting my feelings, and who always come from a place of love. And having people do that means that, it really has helped me to see myself beyond my own limitations, see myself beyond my blind spots, It's helped me to get past my ego when my ego wants to be defensive and make excuses and not take responsibility and blame others and be a victim. It's also really helped me to take full responsibility for my life and really just step up. And so last night, just sharing the situation that I created and getting that feedback, like, it hurt. It hit me. I described to the group afterwards that I felt like I had been doused with just cold ice water. Like very shocking to the system, very, very, very uncomfortable. The truth that was being laid at my feet, like, it hit me and I had tears coming down my face because I didn't like the impact of some of my choices. I didn't like how it was impacting other people, specifically Sarah. And it was getting to me. But you know what? I asked myself, I'm like, man, I am so grateful for those folks who are just willing to be bold and are willing to just tell me what they perceive. And there's been so much trust built up over the years that I know it comes from love, and it's unconditional love, right? Like, they're not trying to mold me into any which way. They're simply holding me to the standard that I say I want to be held to. They're simply holding me to the vision of greatness that I've set forth for myself. And to have those people is just invaluable, And, I kind of toss it your way now. Like, how many people do you have? How many people have you created in your life who hold a space of greatness for you, who love you without any conditions, and who are courageous enough to be honest with you, even when it hurts and even when it's unpleasant? If you have one of those people, be incredibly grateful. Be incredibly grateful, because those types of individuals, not only do they hold space that you can then step into and grow into, but they can help light a fuse, right? They can help be a catalyst for some tremendous change in your life. And I know that to be the case because it's happened with me. So my magic is having created 9 people, having summoned those 9 people in my life who are themselves going through their own processes and receiving their own feedback and stepping up and choosing love over fear again and again and again, so that they can be so tapped into their intuition and be able to be so powerful in their own right that they can hold that space for me and then just give me that straight up feedback. Like, that's magical. It really is. So that's my magic. I now recommend, or I just put it out there for you. You can do what you want, obviously, right? You can do what you want. But I toss the idea out there for you to reflect on some magic for yourself. Just one piece, one little piece, one big piece. It all counts. And so if you feel inspired, just hit pause now. And then you can rejoin us as we talk about some listener love. And I got so much love for you. So much love, so much gratitude, so much appreciation. And today I just want to give a special shout out to Amanda over on Instagram. Amanda, thank you so much for taking a moment to connect with me on Instagram and for creating a story that you tagged me in, because that's how we got connected. You tagged me in your story. And that is so cool, even though I didn't see the story before Instagram made it disappear. Which, by the way, like, can I fix that? Because, come on, this is magical moments. This is amazing stuff that is popping up in these feeds and then just goes away. So anyway, Amanda, I appreciate you just giving me a shout out in your story, and I'm happy that we could get into a dialogue after the fact and just connect. And that truly is the greatest thing for me, that connection. So I want to send you some love, Amanda, and say thank you, thank you, thank you. If you'd like to be like Amanda and connect with me on Instagram, or maybe you want to tag me in one of your stories, maybe you want to give me some ideas for episodes or feedback or ask me a question, whatever, hit me up. My handle is Matthew_Bivens, and I absolutely love connecting. 100% love connecting, because that is what this podcast is about. This is not about me just being on one end of the mic and just spewing stuff out there. No, I want to connect. I'm playing for connection. Playing for connection in life. Connection with myself, connection with my higher self, connection with that universal intelligence, connection with you. So let's connect. Matthew_Bivens on Instagram. You can also hit me up on my email, mattcbivens@gmail.com. That is my personal email address. And we can get into all sorts of cool dialogues. It'd be a beautiful thing. So hit me up, connect with me there. And that's all I got. That's all I got right now. So let's press on and move into the meat of today's conversation, which is talking about the YourDay balance game. Now, I'm going to do a couple things in this episode. I'm going to be really giving a 10,000 foot overview about what exactly is the YourDay balance game. And what I'm saying is your, Y-O-U-R, day, D-A-Y, balance game. YourDay, one word, balance game. It's shortened or abbreviated as YDBG. So I'm going to be talking about what is the YourDay balance game. I'm going to share with you some of the tenets, some of the core beliefs of the game, and some of the tools that have sprung from the game that I use, that tons and tons of other people use, and that you can use as well in your life. Because, as I said, my journey to obviously connecting with myself, growing, becoming more strong, healing, all of that, my journey started way before I was ever exposed to the YourDay balance game. It started before the YourDay balance game ever existed. And I am very grateful for all the steps that I took throughout my journey. Every single one. The ones where I actually went forward and the ones where I went backwards, because each one of them has led me to this moment right now where I'm talking to you. And 7 years ago, I was introduced to a community of people. I was introduced to a framework and a way for me to look at stepping into my greatness. I was introduced to a way of actually understanding what that looks like and a set of tools that I could use to walk every single day. And there definitely was, if you were to look at my life in the timeline of events and things, you would see that 7 years ago, there's a sharp uptick in my self-confidence, in my strength, in my courage, in my love for myself, and how I love other people, in my abundance mentality. So many things took a sharp turn in the positive direction when I was introduced to YourDay balance game. And so, again, like I said at the top of the episode, my goal with this podcast is really to help you live with more purpose, abundance, and love. That's my goal. That's what I want for you. That's a space that I'm holding. Because I know that every single one of us can have it all. We can all live an abundant, loving life. Right? The word abundance is in there. Every single person can live that. And really what it comes down to is a combination of your habits, which are your actions, your relationships, and your thoughts. It comes down to your environments. It comes down to your choices, those moment-to-moment choices that you're making that will ultimately feel like you do have it all or feel like you don't have it all. That'll ultimately have you feeling in love with your life and excited, or apathetic and lost. And so across the 250 plus episodes of this podcast, I've just tried to give you tools and resources and all the stuff that I possibly can to help you on your journey, and especially give you the things that have helped me on my journey. And so that's what I want to be doing now. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you, the biggest source of tools and really the biggest thing that has helped me along my journey to just being the greatest version of me. Being that great version of Matthew and really taking control over my life, taking responsibility for my life, being proactive, being courageous, having confidence. Man, I can't tell you how much that struggle with confidence has been how real that's been for me. And that struggle with just me accepting myself and knowing what it's like to live and be authentic. Like, if I asked you right now, what does it mean for you to be authentically you? Do you have a concrete, succinct answer to that? Right? If you don't, then you probably were feeling the way that I was feeling, like, I don't even know what does it mean for me to be authentic. However, playing the YourDay balance game, I got an answer to that. And there's so many things like that I was on this path for figuring myself out. That was really what kind of started it. Like, let me figure myself out to a deeper degree. Let me learn to love myself on a deeper degree. Let me see what I'm made of. Let me push myself a little bit. Let's see how strong I am. Let's see where I can, you know what I mean? I was doing all those different things and all those different inquiries. And then, boom, that led me to the YourDay Balance game. And from there, it was like, wow, you know what? I've been looking for this for so long. That was the conversation I had after my second time of going to the physical space, the gym in Atlanta that's called the Playground. After I left the Playground the second time, I was like, wow, you know what? I've been looking for this for a long time. And that's a really, really cool thing. So let's dig into a little bit what is the YourDay Balance game. So, by definition, the YourDay Balance game is a health and fitness platform that is powered by love and balance. Again, that's a health and fitness platform that's powered by love and balance. And I'm going to break down all those different nuances because they're all really dense and jam-packed. So first, health and fitness, right? So there's a lot of different ways to define health and fitness. The way that we define it in the YourDay Balance game is health is your ability to heal, right? Heal is it's the first four letters of the word health. So health is all about healing. And healing is really just detoxifying your body faster than you intox. Like getting rid of toxins faster than you bring them in. That's what health is all about. Fitness, that's the movement. That's that physical movement piece, the exercise piece, right? Taking care of your body vehicle. I've talked about body vehicle before, right? So fitness is taking care of that body vehicle. Platform, now this is an interesting one because you would think, YourDay Balance game, I don't really get, it's a platform? What does that mean? Well, a platform is, if you think about it there's a lot of different definitions, but like one thing a platform is, it's something that people stand upon, right? Like a platform, like a stage. You stand upon that, and from that platform, you're able to, be that person you want to be, project what you want to project, say what you want to say, perform, do whatever it is, but it's built on that platform. And so that's one way to think about the YourDay Balance game and the definition of a health and fitness platform. It's something that you can stand upon to build your greatest version of yourself, of your life. Solid platform. And if you think of I think of Google, technology company Google, right? Google can also be thought of as a platform, and a different definition of the word. Platform meaning like having all these different tools or all these different components under one umbrella, right? If you think of Google, Google has Gmail, and they have Google Docs, and they have Google Spreadsheets, and they have Google Hangout, and they have Google Search, all these different things under one umbrella. So YourDay Balance game is similar, and you'll learn in a few minutes why that is. But there's all these different things that you can use that are all housed under one roof. So that's where we get the word, that's what we mean by platform, something to stand upon, and it has all these different things under one roof. Now, love. Remember, YourDay Balance game is a health and fitness platform powered by love and balance. So other games and other organizations and things, they're powered by a lot of stuff, right? Powered by all sorts of different things. For this one, it's powered by love and balance. And for love, we say that that's having a deep and intimate connection with yourself, others, and life. That's what love is. That deep, intimate connection. Deep, intimate connection with self, others, and life. And then balance is all about getting back to your principal center. Balance is not about staying in that center. It's about getting back to that center because, you fall out of balance. It's part of life. It's about how fast can you get back to that center. So again, the YourDay Balance game is a health and fitness platform that's powered by love and balance. And you can see just from the definition that there's a lot that's jam-packed in there. And that definition has taken us a long time to like workshop. And as I said before, I've been playing the game for 7+ years. I've been a leader for, about half of those years in terms of really taking a leadership position. And one of the things that we talk about as in the leadership positions is like, how do we express this? How do we share this? How do we connect other people to the game and to the tools and all that stuff? So working on this definition and really creating something that people can understand has been one of the things that I've been a part of. And what's interesting is like, you might think, well, why is it hard to kind of grasp what the Your Day Balance game is? And part of the reason is because it's so big. There's just so many different things underneath one umbrella. Again, it's like how do you explain what Google is in a sentence? It's kind of tough because there's so many things that are all a part of Google. So it's going to make more sense as I continue to unpack what it is. So there's a number of really awesome, very, very influential, very powerful books that have been a part of building the ethos of the Your Day Balance game. And so I personally think that's one of the hallmarks of a really powerful idea or belief, or in this case, kind of a framework for something when it pulls from other things, right? Like when you can see evidence of, taking something and bringing it in and making it yours and doing, like when you see that, it just, for me, it instills a bit of confidence and trust because, wow, it's like, I know that book. I recognize that book. I recognize that from over there. I recognize that. And wow, all of it's incorporated into this. That's amazing. Like that to me creates a little bit of like, I'm curious about this now. I want to check this out. And so some of the books that have been instrumental with creating Your Day Balance game are Power vs. Force, David R. Hawkins, incredible book. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, amazing book that I've talked about so often on this podcast. The Tao of Health, Sex, and Longevity. That is an incredible book that really breaks down the Taoist philosophies on those 3 things, health, sex, and longevity. That has been instrumental. You Can Heal Your Life, Louise Hay. That book has been instrumental. And so as you start to play the game, you start to see like, oh, wow, you know what? There's a lot of these different concepts. Like, for example, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen Covey talks about what ends up becoming the body vehicle in the Your Day Balance game. Covey talks about taking care of, and he has these 4 different areas: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social. And Covey combined 2 of them together. I forget, it was social and one of the other ones that he combines 2 of them together. And with the Your Day Balance game, we really looked at that and was like, yeah, you know what though? Those 2, they need to be different. And there's an order for them. And there's a position for each of them. And so it's taking an idea from one place and adding more to it. And that's one of the things that I just truly love about Your Day Balance game, because I remember as a young man, my father introduced me to 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And at the time, first of all, I wasn't really interested in reading a book like that when I was a teenager, right? And second of all, when I cracked it open, like I had a hard time understanding what he was talking about, and I had a hard time relating to it. And then fast forward all those years, 7 years ago, I started attending these consciousness conversations that were happening at the Your Day Balance game gym space in Atlanta, the playground, where we just talk about, consciousness, talk about how you can empower yourself and all of that stuff. And Day was breaking down the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He and the other coaches at the time were digging into this book that I had been handed, 10 plus years ago as a kid that I could never connect with. And they were breaking it down and making it very practical and applying it to everyday life. And when I went and read that book for myself again, I realized that, still reading the book, even as a man, I had a hard time taking Covey's text and really thinking, how can I apply this to my life? And so what I think is really cool with what, we do at Your Day is we'll take these foundational, amazing books like 7 Habits and be like, this is how you can actually apply this. Like, this is how you can live principally centered life. Let's not just talk about it. Let's actually break it down and show how it can be done. And so those books have just been, their fingerprints are all over, what we're creating here at Your Day Balance game. And there's more books too. New books keep getting introduced. Like Day last night was reading a book, Principles by I think Ray Dalio. And there's so many amazing things in that book too. And that to me is a hallmark of a truly genius idea or organization in this case. Like, it's constantly evolving. It's not just stuck and rigid and saying this is exactly what This is what everything we believe, boom, it's right here, and this is never changing. It's like, no, let's look. Is something more effective? Is there a more effective way to approach this or a different way to explain it that could land? Okay, cool. Let's keep it open. Let's keep this thing as a breathing, living organism. And that's what I believe the best organizations are. They evolve with the times, all right? And they keep taking on the thing that connects them further and further with their purpose, their big why. And for the YourDay Balance game, the big why is 1 billion watchers. A watcher is somebody who is on the YourDay Balance game app who is simply watching other players. Because you can be a watcher or a player. It's kind of like in games as a kid. If you grew up playing sports as a kid, you had people who were on the field playing, and you had people who were in the stands watching. Right? And as a watcher, you can have a lot of impact on your overall health and wellness simply by being a watcher. Absolutely. You can be influenced by what you're seeing happening on that playing field. Your health can go up. Your consciousness can go up. The way you view yourself, feelings of empowerment, confidence, all of that can go up simply by being a watcher. And so the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal of the YourDay Balance game is 1 billion watchers. Because those folks are going to be so influenced by what they're watching. And what is it that they're watching? Well, they're watching people who are playing the YourDay Balance game on the YourDay Balance game app. And I'll talk in a minute about what that is, because that's one of the tools that I use, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So I broke down the definition of what the game was. I broke down some of the books that have been instrumental in pulling together the ethos of the game. And now I want to talk about the purpose, right? Because every great organization, every great thing has a purpose to it. And so the purpose is really in the name, which is cool. The purpose of the YourDay Balance game is to make every day your day. To make it your day. Right? That when you wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm going to make today my day. I'm going to really put my stamp on this day. And when you go to sleep at night, you were like, yes, I made it my day. I took full responsibility and full accountability for everything. And I made it all that it could be. That's the purpose, to make it your day. And so we actually have a formal definition for what that means. And what it means to make every day your day is when the health of your habits and your perceptions are powerful enough to create joy in the face of circumstance each and every day. I'll say it again. When the health, how healthy of your habits and perceptions, when the health of your habits and perceptions is powerful enough to create joy in the face of circumstance each and every day. Because here's the thing. Circumstances are going to hit you. Life is going to just present some stuff with you that you're going to relate to as a circumstance. Sometimes it's great stuff, sometimes it's not. And when it's not, are you able to still create joy? Can you be joyful in the face of the most dire of circumstances? The way that you can work on that is by working on the health of your habits, the health of your perceptions, the health of your attitudes. Because if the health of your habits and perceptions, if they are powerful enough, then yes, you can absolutely create joy in the face of circumstances. Like, there are people out there who get served up some of the most tragic circumstances you could ever imagine. And yet, even in the midst of all of that stuff, they can find some joy. They can create some joy in their life. That is making every day your day. Those individuals, they are making their day theirs. That's what they're doing. And it is so possible for you as well. There's no circumstance that has to completely take you out, where you're just like, I'm going to check out of life. No. Your habits and your perceptions can be healthy enough to create joy in the face of whatever it is that life hits you with. It is 100% possible. And so, we talk about what's the result of making every day your day, because there's a result. When you do that, what happens? Well, when you make every day your day, you create many more magical moments in your life. Yeah, we're bringing it full circle back to the concept of magic that we started the podcast with. Because when you can create your joy in the face of whatever is going on, that right there is a magical moment. Remember, magic is being able to influence yourself, others, in life in an empowering way. So what you just did in the face of circumstance, you influenced yourself in an empowering way to shift it and to create a little bit of joy in the face of whatever was going on. That is magic. And to me, the person who is winning at life is the person who keeps stacking up more and more magical moments. And you're just creating them constantly, minute by minute, just popping off magic all over the place. Again, it goes back to the health of your habits. How healthy are your actions? How healthy are your relationships? How healthy are your thoughts? When those things are just through the roof healthy, yeah, you can create a lot of joy in the face of circumstance. You start creating a lot of magical moments for yourself. You see how you've influenced others by who you're being. And that's magic right there. Whenever you influence somebody else, that is magic. And whenever you influence life, those moments when you just want to chalk it up to coincidence or serendipity, no. You influence that. You created that. Recognize that, because that's where your power lies. All right? You want to just be able to see how powerful you are and recognize it and feel it. That's how you go about creating your day. That's how you go about creating an abundant, loving life. It is all connected. There's these beautiful threads that weave through all of this stuff. Right? And that's one of the things I love about Your Day Balance Game. I'm like, man, I can wrap my mind around this. It's big, yes. It's dense, yes. Some of the pieces are like, whoa, okay, there's a lot to unpack, yes. And I get it. It makes sense. It makes sense. Because right now, if you look at some area in your life that just isn't working, where you aren't experiencing joy, where you aren't experiencing flow, are you able to ask yourself, what actions are contributing to me not having flow here? What relationships, like how am I feeling about something that's contributing to me not being able to have flow? And what thoughts am I running in my mind that are contributing to me not having flow here? I can almost guarantee you're going to find your answer in one of those three areas. Your actions, relationships, or your thoughts are what are preventing you from having joy and flow in that area. Therefore, if you want the joy and flow, go and address the action, relationship, or thought that is preventing it. You see what I'm saying? It's so, like, it really does get boiled down to some very simple stuff. And that's one of the just things that when I walked into the playground 7 years ago, when I did my first play camp exercise, that's the exercise class that I actually now lead it. It's called Play Camp. But when I did my first one of those, and I started to hear some of these things that I'm sharing with you now, and I started to like hear how the dots were connected, I was like, whoa, this is like clear, like I get it, and it's very deep. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I understand what's being shared with me, and I'm realizing the depths at which this can go, and I can take all of this. And that is a really intriguing thing for me. So there's a few things that actually make the Your Day Balance Game unique as well. You've probably picked up on some of them so far, but every game, everything out there has its own unique aspects to it. And so there are three that we talk about with the Your Day Balance Game. The first is that it is three-dimensional. It's a three-dimensional game. There's a lot of games out there that are one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and all that. But this is a three-dimensional game, and the three dimensions are fitness, lifestyle, and consciousness. Those are the three dimensions that make up the Your Day Balance Game. Now, again, there's a lot of one-dimensional games. There's a lot of games in the world of fitness, right? Like P90X or CrossFit. That might be a one-dimensional game in the world of fitness. Lifestyle. There's games in the world of lifestyle. It's kind of like Jenny Craig, looking at your habits and all the things you put into your body, not just the food, however, right? Lifestyle comprises the food you're eating, the water you're drinking, the energy that you're surrounding yourself with, the energy that you're allowing into your body, conversation. Are you having conversations that are lifting you up or pulling you down? Are you placing yourself in environments that are adding toxins rather than detoxifying? What information are you absorbing? All of that has to do with your lifestyle. So there's one-dimensional games in lifestyle, and then consciousness as well. There's a lot of one-dimensional games in consciousness. Tony Robbins, right? He's an inspirational, motivational speaker. He delves into the consciousness area. I don't know if he has anything that touches into lifestyle or fitness, right? And so there's a lot of one-dimensional games, a lot of two-dimensional games, but the YourDay Balance game is a three-dimensional game. Remember, it addresses fitness, lifestyle, and consciousness. Now, if you looked at a pie chart and you saw three slices, one was fitness, one was lifestyle, one was consciousness, they're not all equal, right? They're not all 33.3% of the YourDay Balance game. Or you could think of it as your results and who you end up becoming doesn't happen by an equal share of each one of those things. So we like to say that 20% of your results come from your fitness. Just 20% of your overall results in your health and wellness and well-being come from your fitness, right? Exercising and moving your body. 30% come from your lifestyle. Again, those are your habits. Those are the things that you're putting into your body. Food, water, information, conversation, energy, environment, all that stuff. That comprises 30% of your results. And 50% of your results come from your consciousness. Your consciousness is your awareness of your relationship to yourself, to other people, and to life. How aware are you of how you're relating to yourself? How aware are you of how you're relating to others? And how aware are you of how you're relating to life? That is the most important. That is the biggest piece. Because you can have the other ones all lined up. You can be the most fit person on earth. You can have just the tightest habits on earth. But if your relationship to yourself is poor, it doesn't matter. If your self-worth is low, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how fit you are if you hate yourself, right? And so it's that consciousness piece which is the most important. And it's the consciousness piece that, for myself, I just wasn't very aware of it. I had some awareness, so I probably had, low consciousness when I entered, because I had some awareness around my relationship towards myself. I knew that there were aspects of myself I didn't like, and I was working on liking to then hopefully work on loving. I knew there were aspects of myself that I could improve upon and that I was working on. But my overall awareness to those things, it just wasn't there. And so it's really cool. And again, what makes YourDay Balance Game unique is that we take that three-dimensional approach to your health and your wellness. We look at your fitness, we look at your lifestyle, and we look at your consciousness. All of those things are important. The second thing that makes the YourDay Balance Game unique is that it's powered by love and balance. Again, going back to the definition, health and fitness platform powered by love and balance. Because other things power other games. Competition, that's a big thing. Competition powers a lot of games. One person wins, one person loses. Cool. Right? Fear powers a lot of stuff. Anger powers a lot of stuff. But for us, it's love and it's balance. If it's not coming from a place of love, it's not going to be part of YourDay Balance Game. And if it doesn't help you to create and experience balance, it's not going to be part of YourDay Balance Game. Love and balance. And the third thing that makes the game unique is that it's a fun. There is a fun and engaging way to measure all three dimensions. Measurement is a big part of what we do in YourDay Balance Game. Like, we like data. We want to see some numbers. And we've created ways to measure your fitness, to measure your lifestyle, and to measure your consciousness. And the way that you measure your fitness is through a game day. a game day. And that is a physical assessment that you take every 90 days, so every 3 months. I've been doing that like clockwork for 7 years. Every 3 months, I'll take my game day, and the game day is going to look at 4 different dimensions of my fitness. It's going to look at my body composition, my strength, my cardio, and my flexibility. And I get a number, I get a score for each one of those. And then you take all those 4 numbers together, and boom, I get my game day score. And it's such a genius measurement because there is so much that your body reveals about how you're relating to yourself, others in life. Believe me, if you have a really low opinion about yourself, right? If like self-love and those things are very, very challenging for you, it's going to show up in one of the 4 quarters, guaranteed. A lot of times it shows up in quarter number 1, body composition, right? You might carry some extra layers somewhere, some insulation against all of that stuff, right? You carry it somewhere. Sometimes it shows up in your strength quarter. There might be an area where your just strength goes completely out. Boom. And so that's the most fascinating piece that I learned as I started taking game days. I was like, wait a minute, this is much more than just fitness because it's all connected, everybody. It is all connected. The way you feel about yourself, the way you feel about others, the way you feel about life, it shows up in all areas. There's no such thing as compartmentalizing. It's just saying, nope, I'm just going to like put it over here and it's not going to impact. No. It shows up everywhere. And so the game day just measures it. And here's the thing about measurement. A lot of times people want to be defensive about being measured because they feel judged. And I can understand that, right? Because, we live in a society that, like, we don't really want to be seen for how we're really showing up. We want to stay in denial, right? But do you judge your scale when you stand on the scale and it delivers a number? That would be pretty foolish to judge the scale because it said, you weigh this much. No, it's simply a number. It's simply measurement. It's simply feedback. And so that third piece that makes the game unique is just we found these really fun and engaging ways to give you those numbers, to give you feedback. And the reason why feedback is so important and data is so important is so that you know where you are. So that you can't be in denial and say, no, I'm not here. I'm over there. It's like, no, let's just measure it. So we can cut past all the denial and all the fear and get clear as to where you are. Because once you know where you are, now you can chart a path to where you want to be. If I told you that you wanted to go to New York City, and I said, go to New York City. You said, okay, great. And I didn't give you a starting point, you're not going to get to New York City. You got to know where you're starting out from. But if I said chart a path from Atlanta, Georgia to New York City, okay, you could do that now. Right? And so that measurement allows you to have that starting point. And then boom, now you know where you're at and you can chart a path wherever you want to go. So the game day is how we measure the fitness dimension. Remember, that's just one of 3 dimensions. There's fitness, lifestyle, and consciousness. Lifestyle dimension is measured in the YourDay Balance Game app. When you play on the app, and that's the word that we use for logging habits, we use the word play. When you play on the app, after you've been playing for 12 weeks, you get a balance score. It's just simply an average of how you've been showing up for those 12 weeks, how you've been logging your habits for 12 weeks. It's another form of measurement. It just shows you where you're at. It shows you how you've been showing up. And what's really cool about the balance score and the app is that you log your habits every single day. So every day, like I'll pull up my balance chart right now, I've got 30 or 40 different habits that I do over the course of a week. And I just log them in my balance chart. And so on a daily basis, I get my number. I see, oh, wow, today I've completed 5%. By the end of the day tomorrow, I might be at 25%. By the end of the day on Thursday, I might be at 42%, right? And I get my number and I can see, great, this is where I'm at. Okay, cool. It's simply feedback. I don't judge it. It's just a number. And the app is there's so much technology that goes into this thing. I'm part of the team that is developing this app. And so I'm working with the developers and everything, and I'm just blown away by how much is going into it right now, how much genius is going into this thing. And it's so cool because it gives you a number, it gives you a measurement on where you're at with your lifestyle. So that if you don't like the number or where you're at, guess what? You can now chart a path to have a different number, to step your game up, to play a different game. Like, you can chart a path to that because you know where you're starting out from. The third dimension, or excuse me, the third dimension is consciousness. And the way that we measure consciousness is in a COI, a circle of influence group. A circle of influence is a small group of 7 people who meet weekly to hold one another accountable to being who they say they want to be. That's as simple as I can put it. It's an accountability group. We're very intentional about why we show up every week. We get clear as to who it is we want to become, and each week we just say, hey, how are you in marching in the direction of who you want to become? We hold space for one another. We give feedback to one another. And one of the forms of feedback is a consciousness calibration. You come up with a really, really powerful way to clearly measure everyone's consciousness. And it's a group measurement. So you have 7 people, including yourself, giving you a number as to where and how they're experiencing you across different dimensions. And the reason why there's 7, one of the reasons, or one of the benefits of having 7, is that when you have all these different people saying, this is how I am experiencing you, then the more inputs that you have, the more like fine-tuned your where you are actually showing up, like where it actually resonates and where it is. What I mean by that is, if you think of a GPS satellite, GPS requires 3 satellites to be able to triangulate a position at least. Right? You need 3 in order to get that accuracy. And so in the COI, we have 7. So those 7 people help to get a more accurate, view of where you are truly showing up. Because if it was just me, I might say, well, if you were to take all of my habits, my actions, my relationships, my thoughts, all that I was being, I'd say, yeah, overall, I'm loving. That's just where I'm at. I'm resonating at love. I'm calibrating at love. But another person might say, nah, I'm experiencing you more in like the courage area. Right? Well, who's correct? It's just opinion when you have 2. But when you have 7 people, and those people are intimately getting to know you and you getting to know them, right? And we're having deep, vulnerable, open, raw, transparent, bold conversations, then you really get to know another person. And then at that point, you do a measurement and you rate one another, calibrate one another, and boom, all of a sudden, you've got a number that is coming from 6 other points of view that you can trust. And that is huge. That is huge. So that's how the consciousness is measured in a COI. Yes, the YourDay balance game is big. There's a lot of components, but man, it is so intentional. It is so, so intentional. And one of the things that I love, and this is really where I will close for today. Actually, no, I'm not going to close here. I'm going to close giving you all some next steps. But before we get there, one of the things that I really love about YourDay balance game is that it gives you a scoreboard for something that we didn't really have a scoreboard for in the past. And what do I mean by that? Like if you wanted to know how you were showing up in your lifestyle, or how you were showing up in your consciousness, or how you were showing up in your fitness, or how you were showing up overall in just your personal development, how would you measure that stuff? Like, I didn't have a clear answer on that. There's a couple of different things out there, different apps that might track your steps and your sleep patterns and things like that. But for me, at least, until I connected with YourDay balance game, I didn't know of I didn't have any place that I could clearly get an idea as to this is how I'm showing up overall within my life. Because there's a lot of scoreboards for what we create in life. I'm talking about money. I'm talking about your bank account, your investment portfolio, the number of cars in your garage. Like there's a lot of scoreboards. There's a lot of ways that you're measured in those areas. And you know what? We use those measurements all the time for great things and not great things, right? Like people want to know, where's your bank account at? Where's your 401k at? What's your credit score? Guess what? A credit score is a measurement. It's a measurement. It pulls from your spending habits. It pulls from your integrity with paying back your debts. It pulls from your maturity and how you use credit. It pulls from all these different things. But it's a measurement on what we call the P side of things, or production. Until the YourDay Balance game, there really wasn't a comprehensive measurement on the PC side of things, production capability. That, again, is a concept that comes from 7 Habits. The PC balance. You've heard me talk about it before. The balance between production, which is the golden eggs, and production capability or production capacity, the golden goose. So we have a lot of scoreboards that'll measure your golden eggs. I just mentioned some. Your credit score, your FICO score, right? Your bank account, how much money is in your bank, the health of your investment portfolio. Those are all measurements of P, production. And now you have a very clear way to measure your PC, your production capability, the golden goose, which is you. How are you doing? How are you being? How are you showing up? Where is your health physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, socially? All of those things are measured through YourDay Balance game. And what is so cool is when you have that measurement, again, you can do something with it. You can use it. You can springboard from that place. So I've said it a number of times, but the YourDay Balance game has impacted me just all over the place over the past 7 years. It really, really helped in the beginning to give me direction, I'd say, in what felt like a really unclear journey. You know, I knew I wanted to improve. I knew there was traumas I wanted to heal. I knew there was things that I just wanted to overcome because I believe that there was nothing that separated me from the greatest people in the history. Like I remember, this was when Steve Jobs was still alive. I remember, you know, watching some of Jobs' keynotes and reading articles and being like, man, this dude has done some amazing things. You know, with like he has hit his goals. I'll just say that. Like he had goals to create an incredible company and impact the world in the way that he wanted to, and he hit those goals. And I remember thinking, there's nothing that separates him from me other than just choices. But how do I become that type of person who can be so clear, be so consistent, be so convicted, right? Like have that confidence, overcome my fears, right? Feel worthy of that sort of success. How do I become that type of person? And I didn't know the answer to that question, and I felt really lost in my journey trying to find those answers until I stumbled across YourDay and I saw, wow, you know what? I can really connect with these frameworks and I can really connect with this approach to health and wellness. Like I get it. I can wrap my mind around these 3 dimensions. And I understand why consciousness is number 1 at 50%. And I also understand why measurement is important. And I see how I was ducking accountability. I didn't want feedback in the past, but I can see how feedback is what all professional athletes use to improve their game. Every single professional athlete out there uses feedback. Feedback is how an airplane gets from point A to point B. I was on a plane yesterday flying home from DC. When that pilot took off, as he was heading towards Atlanta, his instruments were giving him feedback that were telling him, you're off course. Now you're on course. Now you're off course again. Now you're on course. You're going down. You got to go up a little bit. Increase the speed. He was getting feedback that was helping him to stay moving in the direction to reach his destination. So it's things like that I realized, wow, there's a lot of power in some of these things that I've been avoiding. Let me lean into this a little bit. You know, YourDay Balance Game introduced me to the power of community. Before that, I didn't really feel like I had community. I did so many things solo. I was kind of like a lone wolf. And that just comes from my upbringing and how I dealt with stuff as a kid. I just internalized. But then I met a group of people and I was like, you know what? These folks are really interesting. And I realized they're very like-minded and they were very vulnerable. And I saw so much strength in the vulnerability, and I saw how much love was in the space. And learning that love and balance were some of the things that powered this game. I'm like, this is interesting because love is not something that powers a lot of games. Love is not something that powers a lot of organizations or businesses or movements. A lot of times it's fear. A lot of times it's money. A lot of times it's power. And so seeing people who are really being fueled by love and doing things in a very balanced way, I was like, this is interesting, you know? And so all of those things, I was like so drawn to it, and boom, I just started playing. I started taking game days. I started playing on the balance chart. I joined a COI. I sat in a COI for 3 years, every week, for 3 years, until it wrapped up and we graduated and we were complete with that COI. And then a year later, I started my own, and that's what I'm doing right now. I have a meeting tonight. It's 4:20 right now as I'm recording. I'm going to be sitting in our COI at 8:30 tonight, and we're doing consciousness calibrations. We started 2 weeks ago. It's a beautiful thing. So we're giving each other that feedback, right? This is all part of my lifestyle now. This is what I do day in, day out. And there's a lot of YourDay tools. There's a lot of other tools that I use as well, but for this conversation, I'm talking about the YourDay tools, and there's a lot of tools that I use on a daily and a weekly basis. I already mentioned that I play on my balance chart. And the word play is intentional, right? Because that's how I want to be in life. I just want to be playing, having fun. Why can't taking care of yourself be fun? Why do we have to make it a chore? Something that you have to force yourself to do? No, you're not going to want to do that. I would rather have a joyful, effortless experience. And part of that for me is calling it play. So I play on my balance chart every day. I participate in weekly YourDay events. Every Saturday, I'm at the fun run, 4-mile run. Again, fun run. We call it a fun run intentionally. Let's have fun while we're out there moving our bodies. Let's be grateful for the fact that we can move our bodies. There are so many people. Like, y'all don't get it. There are so many people out there who would give everything for the life that you have right now. They would give everything to be able to listen to this podcast because maybe they can't hear. Or they would give everything to be able to participate in a fun run and use their legs and move their body. So yeah, I show up on Saturdays because I'm grateful and I love to move my body. I participate in Tuesday night play camp. Like, I was a participant for a while before I took it over and lead it. That's another YourDay event that I'm just like, let me be in this energy because I love this energy and I love the folks who keep showing up in it. I already mentioned I lead the COI. I'm in those conversations. I take my game day every quarter. And in general, I just sit in very raw, powerful, confronting, transformational conversations multiple times a week that happen with different folks in the YourDay community. That's just what I'm doing. And listen, it's been built over time. I didn't jump in at this speed, right? I ramped up slowly. 7 years is how long I've been playing and learning these tools and working on shifting my actions, my relationships, my thoughts. 7 years I've been getting very intentional, very direct feedback. And I've been working on learning how to receive and surrender to the feedback, which can be very hard. It's very hard for me. I'm telling you, last night I was sitting, remember my magic? Last night I was sitting in that core meeting and I'm receiving feedback from 9 folks, and I'm seeing people just give it to me so straight that they got tears coming down their face because the stance they hold for me is so powerful, and the love they have for me that they want me to know and feel the impact of how I'm showing up. And to be able to sit there and receive that, like 7 years ago, I would not have sat in that circle. I wouldn't have received that. I would have gotten defensive, would have probably just walked out. And so it takes time to incorporate these things in your life. And that's cool because this is a journey, right? Let's embrace that. Let's embrace the time that we've got and just, take on small things and build it up from there. And so now I want to leave you with some things that you can actually do next, right? If you felt inspired by what I've been sharing and you're like, you know what, I really dig that these are the tools that you use, and I would love to get involved and be a part of it, I'm going to give you what I got 4 different things here. The first is listen to the Make Everyday Your Day podcast. My coach, Day Adioba, he launched a podcast. I helped him launch it, I think 2 years ago, if not 1 year ago, which is all about how do you make every day your day. And in the show, he breaks down all the different components of Your Day Balance Game. He goes into those different books that I shared with you. He talks about magic. He just breaks the whole thing down, and it's coming from him. He's the guy who created it. So his level of being able to explain things and break things down it's genius. And so it's in the podcast. Make Every Day Your Day podcast. You can go find it on iTunes, on Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, all that stuff. If you can't find it, just message me and I'll make sure you get it. Totally free. And there's 260 something episodes, I think, of just breaking it down. And, they're shorter. They're like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Day wanted to keep it to a shorter show. And it was a daily show until it ended. So you got so much content in there to just dig into more of what the Your Day Balance Game is. That's the first thing I'll share with you. First action item. Second action item is listen to tomorrow's episode, because I'm going to rebroadcast a conversation I had with Day where we talk about all this stuff and we break things down. So go check that out as well. That's a cool one. It's a little bit longer because he and I just get into it. And I have some other episodes, and I'll probably link them. Any episode that I have with Day, I'm going to link in the show notes. So you can check that out. But tomorrow will definitely be a great one to check out as well. The third thing you can do, if you felt inspired and moved when I talked about the Your Day Balance Game app, then become a watcher. It's free. It's totally free to watch. And you'll watch people who are just showing up powerfully. You just watch people as they play, as they do their habits, as they share their magical moments. And again, it's totally free. You can go to theydbg.com. THEYDBG.com. And that's where you can sign up for the app. Right now, there is an Android version. There's not an iOS version, but you can access everything through the website. And right now, we're in beta. And so what that means in technical terms is this is sort of a debugging phase of this app. And so, there's stuff that comes with an app being in beta, and that's part of it. It's like, if you notice something in it, let me know. Give me feedback. We're making tweaks and adjustments and all sorts of cool stuff. So the app is free to watch. And if you want to play means now you can create your own balance chart. Now you can start incorporating some new healthy habits in your life and start to track them. You actually get a month for free. So you can watch totally for free. Then if you want to play, you can try it out for a month. And then after that, it's just $10 a month, $9.99. Or you can buy a full year up front, and I think it's $99, and that saves you some money if you just buy a year up front. So all of that is at theydbg.com. Fourth way, actually I have 5. Fourth way you can get involved is come and experience the Your Day Balance Game for yourself in Atlanta. It's been so cool to connect with so many of you who have either lived here in Atlanta and have come through, and you've experienced the playground, you've come to play camp, you've met me, and some of us, we've become friends, and now we hang out regularly. And it's been so cool to meet you all. And then the folks who just come through, you've been here on traveling or something, come to Atlanta, and you and I can hang out, or you can just go to the playground and engage with the other folks who are there. It's an awesome, awesome place. And if anybody wants to connect live here in Atlanta, wants to, experience the playground, meet other folks, other people who are playing the Your Day Balance Game, other people in the community, let me know. I'm happy to make that happen. You can hit me up on my email, again, mattcbivens@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram, Matthew_Bivens, and I've been happy to facilitate that. And I love it when y'all come out to the play camp, because that's cool. You get to see me in a different light. You get to see me in my coaching element, which is such an awesome thing. That's really one of my passions. I get so lit up when I'm coaching. It really is just it's my thing. And so that leads me to the 5th way you can get involved. And that's really working with a YourDay Balance Game certified balanced lifestyle coach. I'm one of those. I'm certified through the YourDay Balance Game as a balanced lifestyle coach as well as a transformation specialist. And so as a balanced lifestyle coach, everything around the balance chart, that's what I help you with. I help you to set up your balance chart, help you to figure out exactly what habits to put in there so that you can hit your goals. We go through and we talk about what is it you want to achieve? What are things that you want to increase in your life? What are things you want to decrease in your life? What are some of the habits that are really challenging for you? Let's explore why they're challenging. Let's help you make progress. That's what I do as a balanced lifestyle coach. And then I work with you to hold you accountable to doing those things. It's one thing to make a balance chart and say you're going to do all this stuff. It's another thing to actually do it. And so having a coach for that is awesome. And I'm one, but there's maybe, I think, a dozen other balanced lifestyle coaches right now that you can connect with. You can also connect with a transformation specialist. And again, I'm a certified transformation specialist through YourDay Balance Game. And for that, I really, really help you get clear as to what it means for you to live your most authentic life. What does it mean for you to truly be your most expressed self, your most authentic self? What does it mean for you to be your greatest self? What does it mean for you to love yourself fully? How can you grow in your confidence? How can you grow in all those different things? That's what I help you do. And that to me is some of the, like when I started doing that type of work with Day and some of the other coaches, so many things in my life changed because I started to see clearly the pathway for me to become the person I truly knew I could become, but I had no idea of how do I get there. Like the path illuminated in front of me, and all I had to do at that point was walk forward. And so transformation specialists can really help you get clear and just to see those major paradigms, like the way that you view your life and the way that you view the world, those paradigms that influence how you think and how you behave and how you act, all of those things. They help you really get clear on your core beliefs and your personal values. Because a lot of us, we aren't clear as to what those are. And when you don't know what your core beliefs are, you don't know what your personal values are, like you don't know specifically what they are, it's very hard to live according to them. The transformation specialist helps you also really get clear as to your principles and standards and live a life that's principally based. They help you with a mission statement, creating a personal mission statement for your life and creating some standards around your relationships because we know how important relationships are. Relationships are everything, how you relate to yourself, how you relate to others, how you relate to life. And so that is what a transformation specialist does. Helps you walk through that process on getting clear on all those things and then help you to become that person. So I connected with a coach early on. When I first came into the game, I was like, listen, I want to learn this stuff and I want to be led. I want to be coached in this area. So I started working with a balanced lifestyle coach to get me on the balance chart and help coach me in that area. I started working with a transformation specialist, and 7 years later, I am now both of those things, balanced lifestyle coach and transformation specialist. And there's others. So I totally recommend, like that is an action item for the individual who just feels ready to go. Like I'm ready to move it forward. Connect with a balanced lifestyle coach, connect with a transformation specialist. I'm happy to connect you with others. I'm happy to talk about what it would look like to work with me directly. And several of you have, right? From playing being introduced to the game through this podcast and then working with me, it's been, it has happened. And so all of it, again, my whole goal is to help you to have it all. That's it. I want you to have it all. That's it. Live your abundant, loving life. And I want to share with you as many powerful resources that I really, really believe in that can help you do that. And the YourDay Balance Game is one of those. It's one of those. And so please let me know how I can help you in your journey. I'm so here to just pass this stuff on because I believe that as you elevate yourself, as you heal, as you grow, as you transform, everybody is impacted. Everybody, because we are all connected, right? As you heal and shift, you're going to impact the people in your immediate house. And you're going to impact the people at your job. And you're going to impact the people who are watching you on social media. And you're going to impact the people that you meet at the coffee shop that you might only see one time. And those ripples continue forever. They never stop. When you drop that pebble into the pond, the ripples go out. And they keep on going. But these ripples in life, they don't stop. And so that's why I'm like, take this stuff, take these tools, take this podcast, take all this stuff, go. I want to share it with you so that you can go and create your ripples, because I'm going to feel them. I will totally feel them. That's a beautiful thing. So that's part of my mission. That's what I wanted to do in this episode. This was a lot of fun. I got a chance to just highlight something that has been so huge for me. And I believe that you get it now after we've been hanging out for like an hour. After this hour, like, you get how big the YourDay Balance game has been in my life, and it's a cool thing. I'm gonna keep on playing. I really am, and I'm excited to watch you. If you get on the app, let me know. I'm gonna watch you, and you can watch me back. I'm excited to play with you. If you come through Atlanta, I'm excited to jump into play camp and a fun run and all that stuff. And I'm just excited to connect and just to be there to hold space and support you however I can. So thank you all for joining me. Links to all of this stuff are going to be in the show notes. It'll also be on my website. I'm doing some updates to the website, and you'll start seeing more episodes appearing on the site, so you can get the show notes and stuff actually on the website. So this one will be there because there's a lot of links in this one, I think. Yeah, a lot of links. And thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for hanging out. I am truly, truly grateful. My name is Matthew Bivens, and here is to you having it all. Quick note about the Having It All podcast. I am not a doctor nor a licensed therapist. I'm a guy with a story and a passion for conscious conversation. My thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are my own, so please consult with your doctor or healthcare provider regarding any questions or issues you have related to your personal, physical, or mental health.